Bungie has just issued a massive update to Destiny 2, giving all players 777,777 unstable cores. This goes live tomorrow, Tuesday at reset. Let's jump into the entirety of this update. The Destiny 2 team has just tweeted out saying update regarding unstable cores. Last week, we announced that unstable cores would not reset with the launch of Destiny 2 Renegades on December 2nd, 2025. If you don't know, unstable cores is a new currency added to Destiny 2 with the launch of Edge of Fate. What is the purpose of this currency? Your guess is as good as mine. I mean, Bungie basically just invented a currency just to make it significantly harder to power infuse your armor up from 10 power all the way up to the cap, which is 550. How bad does this system get, you might ask, that Bungie had to literally remove it? Well, if you wanted to upgrade something from 200 power to maximum 550, it costs over 30,000 unstable cores. Now, to be fair, you do get a lot of these from dismantling items, but this does make it ridiculously expensive, which means that after you've already upgraded, let's say one character, for example, all the way up to 550, you would have presumably spent this, what is it, 5 times 30,000 is 150,000 on armor, plus 3 weapons is 90,000. So that's roughly 240,000. But if we're just talking specifically about armor, let's say you get one full character, obviously all of their weapons and armor would be up to 550. Then if you just log into your other character, that's going to be 150,000 cores for just your second character and another 150,000 for your third character, totaling 300,000 cores just to get your character up to 550, and even then you won't have all of your weapons at maximum power. So needless to say, you can burn through this currency really fast. So even though 777,000 seems extremely generous, and to be fair, it honestly is, it really shouldn't be a problem for anyone moving forward, you could see why it was necessary for Bungie to give that much currency. So that way, unstable cores is no longer a problem for anyone playing Destiny 2 wanting to power infuse their armor up. The next part reads, we noted in the TWID that we would provide future updates on how we would rebalance the economy of this currency. We have landed on a plan to fully deprecate this currency, which is a good idea in my opinion. Once deprecated, infusion will cost an amount of enhancement cores and glimmer. So unstable cores will no longer be a thing. We knew that they would not reset in Destiny 2 Renegades, and now Bungie has taken it one step further, saying that they're just removing the currency from the game altogether. Overall, we found that unstable cores have been too restrictive across power levels and failed to drive interesting buildcraft decisions. This is true. It's kind of just a nothing burger of a currency that you just invented so that way you have an extra hoop to jump through when trying to level up your gear. Whether they be powering up through campaign missions and wanting to try different weapons, or going into endgame content and looking to infuse lower level gear to higher power levels. And this has been a problem. For me, I've actually ran out of this currency, and so I only infuse up a limited number of weapons. If you do manage your inventory correctly, or at least I should say efficiently, you're able to keep a decent chunk of these. But if you get a little too wild with it, like I'm doing build videos and I'm constantly switching builds because of the epic raid and things like that, you run out really fast and it ends up being very restrictive and painful having to farm this currency. Bungie says, we don't have an exact patch for this change just yet, but we are working rapidly to align on a target date. In the short term, we have 2 items of note shipping tomorrow with Destiny 2 Update 9151. So what's in Update 9151, you ask? Our goal is to help players with smaller amounts of unstable cores infuse gear alongside power and progression changes going live tomorrow until the currency can be retired. So what Bungie has done, they have added a one-time reward of 777,777 unstable cores to the catch-up chest that will be available in the tower tomorrow at reset. So make sure you log in and grab that. You're going to want that. We highly recommend signing in and using these before they're removed. Now, this should hopefully boost the population, at least for a short period of time in Destiny 2, because everyone's going to be logging in and grabbing that, at least if you got the news. We are shipping a minor change that reduces the number of unstable cores needed for infusion at higher power levels until they are deprecated. So basically that 30,000 is going to get reduced quite a bit, which is good. And honestly, the best decision would be to just remove the currency in an instant, but Bungie has their spaghetti code or whatever, and they're not able to do that, right? We can't make everything we want to happen in the game happen instantly. So, of course, we're going to have to wait a little bit, but I do think that these are the right changes to unstable cores in Destiny 2. Now, can we celebrate and say this is a massive W for Bungie? Yes and no. And let me explain. First, I'll start with the negative, which is that no, this isn't a massive W, which is that no, this isn't a massive W because Bungie created this problem and then fixed it, which is a common pattern, a common theme that we're seeing with Bungie lately. They like say, hey, we're going to nerf this thing. And then everyone's like, no, don't do that. That's stupid. And then they go, okay, we're not going to nerf it. And then people cheer, which is odd because they created the problem to begin with. So then if they created this problem to begin with, what is the silver lining here? You might be wondering. The silver lining here is that Destiny 2 is in desperate need for an improvement in quality of life features. The portal needs to be fixed. We need to get the game in I would call it a shippable state for Renegades. And a change like this will make it so that way if any new players jump into Destiny 2 for Renegades because of Star Wars, because of hype and excitement and interest, having these systems being removed and adjusted accordingly will greatly help with the experience. The last thing you want is for people to buy Renegades and be extremely frustrated by these pointless currencies and by the portal in general, right? So what Bungie is desperately doing right now is trying to adjust, course correct, and fix all the issues with the core systems of Destiny 2 that have launched with Edge of Fate and the portal, of course, being the biggest culprit here. But along with the portal comes a lot of these other little things that need to get hammered out. And unstable cores is one of them. This absolutely needed to be hammered out. And by doing so, I genuinely believe that Renegades will be a better experience for any new players or returning players, or just the existing players, of course. So in that regard, I would say that this is a positive. However, let me know what you think about the situation down in the comment section below. Will you be logging in tomorrow and collecting your 777,000 cores? And as always, make sure to subscribe to the channel if you want to stay up to date on all things Destiny 2. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Later.